The great art style referring to medieval drawings is fascinating, but make the mistake and buy this game is not worth it. Yet. Inkulinati, under the pleasant and atmospheric design, hides poor balance and annoying gameplay. So let's start. The artists fight in drawn arenas with drawn animals. That's the essence of the game. Then the developers decide to add a screen of medieval engravings and paintings, a poetry, music and text. And they break the seamlessly brilliant idea with inept balance, boring progression, and a bunch of mechanical work exclusively against the player. The problem begins at the start. The player is taught the basics step by step, and then offered to beat the master. We win, satisfied with ourselves, go through advanced training, and begin to unpleasantly surprised. Ungraded mode does not teach advanced mechanic, but begins to be fed with a test of medium difficulty. The player is not taught mechanics, not told how to do better. They give a station, a description of some mechanics, and ask to pass. This is not advanced training at all, but a set of challenges. They do not carry any wisdom. After the start of the journey, the main mode of the game, the player is present with a map of several paths, with battles, stores and treasures. It all looks like a typical roguelike. Walk, fight, pump up the artist and cult creatures, defeating another artist at the end, and so on. Or do not win and start the race all over again. Already on the third time becomes bored with the monotony. The player has three standard types of troops: swordsman, archer and leatherman. They are special and expensive ones: donkey bard, knight with two-handed weapons, snail and bishop. There are also monsters with axes, slingshot or slingshots, but these are repeat of the standard troop types. The computer has a larger roster of units, the same demon with max, which kill with one blow, and even the player's artist. At the same time, apparently to justify the rotation of the army, added boredom mechanics. If you drop the same animals many times in battle, their cost will increase in the following battles. One question: in whose bright mind came up with this idea? Want to make a roster or interable character, give a unit some distinct features, so the player would change the army depending on his needs, repainting dogs as foxes or rabbits with minimal difference in the way to nowhere. But after all, every unit has traits. A professional player will tell me, yes, it's true. The fox steals one drop of ink after hitting it, the bunny shoves its butt and stuns the enemy. But this is such a minuscule difference that is more efficient to summon an expensive archer who will deal with enemies faster than to trade him to the dysfunction unit with useless abilities. And it's not an element of choice, it's a stupid mechanic, which is only need to complicate life, but not to diversity of the gameplay. At the same time, even on medium difficulty, it will be so tight that already on the third map you want to howl. The player can't counter anything against the non-artist if she is caught as a third boss. Every turn the enemy piles his bits with abilities that the player has several turns to roll out. Draws incredible armies for himself because he all the incollective bonuses he need for eat and sneeze. Try to win, they call it. The idea of Inkulinati is interesting, but their developers made a mistake. They were so overplayed themselves that they balanced the game for themselves. Having played it more than 1,000 hours, they are no longer interested in defeating an opponent who is difficult for even the average player. A similar situation was with Song of Conquest last year. They made the same mistake here. The element of chance sometimes works so much against the player that you don't even know how to counterattack the enemy forces. I will give you an example of an ill-fated battle with Elan. She was sitting on the 4th floor of the arena, and there were gates on the stairs. An ordinary swordsman can't penetrate them from bottom to top. You have to summon lances to do so. None dwarves, bishops and archers ever turn, which kill all lances player even on the approach. good balance and interesting arenas. At the same time, you can cheat. If you have time to go to the menu before to the moment when the plate appears to the player that has lost, the game will restart the arena again. So it turns out that the gameplay looks like this. You go into the battle, try tactics, get out and start again. And so until you win and press Alt F4 from annoyance. It would be much cooler to win in a fair fight and intelligent, rather than adjusting to the moves of an unbalanced opponent and build tactics solely on that. Also, the game has bugs. Yes, the game is an early access, but some break the walkthrough. In an intermediate battle, my first move, I tried to put the enemy unit to sleep, and the game hangs, showing a close-up of the sleeping tree. The next turn doesn't happen and no action can be taken, but the pause menu and switching between unit works. A relatively successful run and with a soft lock, because as soon as I put a steer to sleep, the game stops. I had high hopes for Inkulinati from the moment it was announced, and after the demo release I was only convinced the project will be a breakthrough. But either the developers wanted to release Inkulinati in early access, or they got tired of the project themselves. It turns out badly. We want to believe that the full version will think the mechanics, correct the balance, work through the units and give them normal abilities, and the artificial intelligence will stop cheating. For now, Inkulinati is only a disappointment, and to touch it today is to ruin the experience of complete product. We recommend adding it to your wish list and waiting for the full version, but in the meantime, pay attention to something else. Thank you for watching.